بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Assalamu'alaikum to all listeners. I hope you can hear us loud and clear. We're trying something new today, so please bear with us. In the event that there's a little lag or there's connection problems, please bear with us. Inshallah, everything will go well. We're doing something that now we're streaming on both devices, and we also have a split screen, as you can easily see. So alhamdulillah, today we are joined by, alhamdulillah, we are joined by Dr. Abdur Rehman Muhammad. For those who may not know, one of the titles or one of the job descriptions that he has, along with the many others, is that he's a deputy chairman of the QEH. So he's the deputy chairman of the Elizabeth Hospital. So that is why, inshallah, one second. So inshallah, he'll be able to shed some light from a very, from the point of view of someone who knows and who is in tune. I think I've been told that there's an echo, but let's see how it works, inshallah. So please, everyone, just bear with us today. Today's the first day we're trying it. If you have any questions as we go along, please feel free to post them both on Facebook and on YouTube in the comment section. By the way, Dr. Abdur Rehman is actually at the airport at the moment. I think he's on to collect the Cuban doctors, mashallah, who are supposed to arrive today. So there could be problems with his connectivity as well, so just keep your So let's see how long he has with us before he is escorted to do other work. Very rewarding, and all the other doctors who are doing fabulous job. Allah accept all of their efforts. So if you have any questions, please share, please ask. Inshallah, Afsab will try his best to answer them. So let's go. I'll go over to Dr. Abdur Rehman now, and inshallah he will shed some light and you can ask your questions.
Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I apologize first of all when I agreed to join you. I wasn't aware that I was going to be called out, but here I am. But inshallah, through technology, I can still join you. I'm currently waiting on a chartered flight to greet the Cuban doctors and nurses. So I don't know how much more we can add to what Dr. Yusuf had told you a couple of weeks ago and what he said prior to that. I think Dr. Yusuf did a good job of going through details and the science behind the quarantine. I went through before that the importance of the measures you can take at home to prevent yourself from getting infected, the sneezing, coughing, hand washing, and the protocols. And there's nothing more you can add. At the end of the day, some persons take it a little more seriously and pay more attention to it, and others may not take it seriously and take it more casually. Some persons may understand from earlier that the seriousness of disease, and others sometimes, unfortunately, recognize it later. But inshallah, Allah protect us all. I don't want to go through today any long details of do's and don'ts. I think you've heard it so many times over and over and over again. And it probably just become very frustrating for everyone to hear the same thing. But at the end of the day, as Muslims, we believe that we do our best and Allah do the rest. Some of us, Allah give us different capacities and different abilities and different jobs and so on. And whatever we do, whether it's in the community like Mawlana Akil, reaching out and having these programs, speaking to people, giving them words of wisdom and deen, and keeping them motivated and occupied. Others might have a profession that could probably assist directly, like maybe a medical doctor or nurse. Others can help in other ways. Some people are business persons, merchants, store owners, whatever. Remember at this time, as you saw on Friday, when persons were in a panic, going to buy groceries and many other things. So there were many situations arising for people to serve in different capacities. And what we must do in our capacity is do what we are able to do as best as we can, whether it's medically or even socially. And so this is just the beginning. I think one of the things I want to talk about today, and I spoke with Mawlana Akil earlier about, is that people are in expectation that come April 14th, which is next week, somehow, as the Prime Minister had said before, that we'll review on April 14th. All that means is that she'll see and come analyze and assess how much the disease has spread, the control of it, the measures taken, if they work, not work, and from there decide further what more needs to be done. If the curfew be extended fully, it will be extended partially, there's some partial return to work, or otherwise. I was trying to warn persons that it's not a 2 week journey, or even a month journey, and in a month or a couple of weeks, when April 14th or April 13th come, it's going to come to an end. Unfortunately, that is not how it is. But I don't think I need to say that now. Allah has given us, if there's anything, the blessing is that we have been one of the latter ones to be affected in this island. So, by examples, from coming from China through Europe and now to North America, a lot of us have family in the UK, and so if you weren't able to get a message before through doctors and others persons telling you, now you have family in the UK firsthand who are explaining to you what's happening, who are telling you what's happening, who are relaying messages live in our community what has happened. So I now believe that inshallah, alhamdulillah, everyone is beginning to understand the severity of this problem. And the reality of the matter is, as Yusuf explained 2 weeks ago, that because there's no vaccination and there's no protection that we have, for example, flu vaccine, the only way, ultimately, at the end of the day, is when most persons eventually get the disease, that they will be obviously immune and a community from it. But that is a long process. And the thing we need to do is not everyone get at the same time, because everyone get at the same time and everyone gets pretty ill. The hospital will not be able to handle all those persons that are ill. So the intention of all these curfew and the measures is to slow down the spread, slowly, gradually spread across the community and not spread all at once. And that's the only at this time. Inshallah, if scientists finds a cure or some sort of treatment very early, then they'll be better served. But at this time, there's no cure, there's no urgent or immediate treatment for it. So all we have to do is sit and wait and let it take its natural course through communities, which is basically spread through the community. Once you get it, you get immune to it. And so, unfortunately, that's the only solution at this time. Waiting for the disease to take its toll through the community gradually. And during that time, you must take care, effort, look after or the poor, less fortunate, because as you know, the curfew, persons that are not working, some persons live week to week, hand to mouth. So without 1 week's salary or 1 week's pay, quite often they're not able to meet the next week's bills, grocery bills. And others, Allah have blessed us more with a little more, barakat and wealth. And so we must look out for our brothers. This is time also to serve. This is an opportunity to serve. You don't have to be a doctor or a nurse to serve. You can be in a community, Allah giving you wealth, use your wealth to help others. There's also opportunity for Muslims to step up. I know BMA always tries various things for Muslims to step up and assist. I know the curfew is on, but the curfew will not be on at this level also. I mean, the government understands that you can't have a complete shutdown for a long period. So there'll be partial relief, partial lifting of the curfew. Not yet. Is it finished? No, leave it for now. I'll come back. Yeah. There's a partial lifting of the curfew. Maybe at some point, that's my expectation. And when that happens, we will able to get out a bit, get food, groceries, assist, and contribute. There are persons around you, elderly, persons who are not as wealthy. A lot of persons are going to lose their jobs. So there's opportunity for us as a Muslim community, those that have, assist those that don't have. Not only Muslims, but also non-Muslims, our neighbors. There are many hadith by Libya Manakil who speaks about looking after your neighbors. Neighbors' interest is like a part of deen. So there are many opportunities for all persons to serve. I don't know what else I can add to that, but basically that is the fundamentals of it now. We settled down, we're quieted down, the curfew is on. Everybody, inshallah, will get accustomed to it. One of the things that also you must remember is that in these times, it's time to reflect as well. You're at home on weekends, sometimes when you're quiet and spend all day by yourself inside the house, you pretend, just imagine some elderly who are at home, older nannies, nanas, who are at home by themselves. You're now for the first time on the weekend spending time by yourself, but imagine how they are at home lonely by themselves. So maybe you could imagine other people in other parts of the world who are locked up, who are either in prison, who are in captivity, whose rights have been diminished. So you could reflect and imagine yourself in those positions. And so it's also time to reflect, to reflect and appreciate the liberties you had before and what you had before. So there are lots of things you can do during this time. From a medical perspective, sometimes very frustrating to watch. Sometimes when doctors and nurses are working so hard, some of them are very nervous. Obviously, it's a very deadly disease. You watch on news and so on, where doctors and nurses are losing life. And so you have doctors and nurses risking their life, coming out every day, leaving their families at home, leaving their children at home, and coming to work, risking their life every day. And then you look outside or you look through the news or watch the radio and see people are recklessly doing things. And it's sort of sometimes, heartbreaking to know that you're making commitments on one end and trying so many things and risking your own life to protect others, and others out there recklessly not appreciating that they're doing the opposite on doing what the medical professional is doing, where it's, even sometimes persons going house to house, family, friends. Just imagine this happening maybe 20 years ago when there was no WhatsApp video, no WhatsApp calls, no telephones, no communication. It could have been worse. So we have this technology. With technology, I'm here actually at the airport, and so many of you at home watching, and we're still communicating. So it could have been worse. So appreciate the blessings you have in this thing, like and adhere to rule. If you don't even understand it, at the end of the day, we tried many weeks. Dr. Yusuf spoke to you, I spoke to you, everyone speaks to you. You understand, you explain. But if you don't understand and the science behind it and the logic behind it, at least just submit and just obey. That's all I can ask you to do. If you don't understand, just obey. Because I don't know what else to tell you. I think we've said it over and over enough. Whether it's Muslim doctors, other doctors, non-Muslim doctors, the Ministry of Health, everyone explain over and over again. And if still you don't understand, just follow. Just follow. I can't say anything else. I'm just pleading with you to listen. People are putting themselves at risk. Do not take that for granted, and then take your chances out there on doing what other persons are doing. Um, Everyone by now has heard what's happening outside in the UK and otherwise, so learn from that. Have any questions or any comments, Malakil? I'm willing to entertain them. I'm not seeing the chat here, so I can't see the questions. One of the other things I also want to share with you is that the assistant, as time goes on, you think about yourself, what are your strengths and weaknesses, where you can donate some time, when you can go to the community, the small groups, Muslim association, masajids are doing things. Donate your time, help. Once the course is clear, do it in a safe way. Don't be reckless. But there will be times, as the months come along and the weeks come along, there will be people who need help. Do not risk yourself and do not take unnecessary chances, but be willing to give back. This is the time to give back. After this whole COVID is past and this whole disease is past, life as we know it will be a little different. We come to perspective of life and what the life in coming to this perspective. If we set our perspective, so inshallah, I have to go now, but inshallah, Malaki will take over and continue as has been, and we have to. I have to leave you now, inshallah. Jazakallah. Any question, Malaki, before I go? I think I have a couple of minutes left.
Just a quick question.
Sorry, you're breaking up. I'm not hearing too well.
The home remedies that we hear about. Home remedies.
Home remedies. Well, you see, there's so many people speaking of home remedies, and there's so many unsubstantiated stuff. My principle in it is that one thing that we know for sure is remain healthy. Remain healthy, eat well, sleep well. Sleep is very important. Your immune system, all those things that help your immune system, you must do. So eating properly, not eating excessively, sleeping well, getting a minimum hour of sleep, remove stress from your life. And I know you can't go exercising, but if you do a little walk around your house, do little things inside your house, those things are important, because once you do things that maintain immune system, then you're in a better position to protect yourself from illness. If you're stressed out, you're not eating, you're not sleeping, no matter all the other remedies you take, that would then diminish your immune system and make you more vulnerable. So when you get sick, the illness will have a greater impact on you, and you have to take longer to recover. So there's no single one magic bullet to cure it. It is general well-being and health. And there's also spiritual health. Sometimes we take it for granted, but if you submit, if you do your best in terms of you do what science teaches you, wash your hands, don't do this, don't do that, eat well and so on, and after that you submit, you don't lose sleep over it. You know that after that there's nothing you're in control, there's Allah. It's like, the simple old saying, do your best, Allah do the rest. And even that takes the stress off your mind. If you unnecessarily worry, why worry about things you have no control over? Just worry about things you can control. So if you've done everything you can do, and you can done all your will and power, your ability and power, then after that, just release and submit and remove that mind, stress from your mind, remove that worry from your mind, and that also in itself help you remove stress from your body and stress from your mind. Because stress is also a very big danger in the immune system. It helps, especially immune system. It causes you to get weak and make you more ill. So that's why I recommend. There's no single date or fruit or any single thing that will make you better in that way. Yes. If there's no further questions or queries, I think I have to leave shortly. I would leave you, and inshallah, if you have opportunity, we'll get together another time.
Yeah, Jazakallah.
Wa alaikum
Jazakallah.
salam. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah to Dr. Abdur Rehman for taking out his valuable time. As he said earlier, he was supposed to spend the night with us, but unfortunately he was called to go to the hospital a little earlier than expected. But Jazakallah for him coming in and sharing with us once again those advices, telling us once again, stay home, stay strong. Just know what he mentioned again is important. We try to keep our minds off of it. Be optimistic. Same thing. Have good rest. Now is the time that you can rest, right? So let's have a good rest. Let's have a good sleep. Don't dwell on the negatives all the time. Try to eat good. Try to exercise, and try to do things in a positive manner. Inshallah, that will really, really help us all. So inshallah, hopefully next time, inshallah, we'll get either Dr. Abdur Rehman, none of the doctors again, to come and join us. And if you have any questions, you can please post them, because from our community perspective, we do have questions. I'm sure next week probably we'll be talking about what's going to happen in Ramadan. But before we get there, alhamdulillah, we're in the month of Sha'ban. And we're in the month of Sha'ban, and Sha'ban is a blessed month. Usually we hear about the 15th night of Sha'ban, which will be in Barbados, that will be on Wednesday. Wednesday night will be the 15th night of Sha'ban. That is Wednesday, 8th of April. So that'll be the 15th night of Sha'ban. And then the 15th day of Sha'ban is going to be Thursday, 8th of April. Now, this month of Sha'ban, we learned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would also fast in this month as well. And another fast that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to keep was the Ayyam Bil, the fast of the 13th, 14th, and 15th of the Islamic month. So the fast of the 13th, 14th, and 15th of the Islamic month. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would fast these 3 days, every month. Similarly, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam's blessed habit was on Mondays and Wednesdays, he used to fast as well. Mondays and Wednesdays, he used to fast as well. And there are weak narrations. Inshallah, most probably on Wednesday, I'll touch on Sha'ban and the auspiciousness of the 15th night. Inshallah, on Wednesday night, we'll touch on that. But there are some weak narrations that talk about the 15th day of fasting. Is not sunnah, say, when you call it mustahab, of fast on the 15th day of Sha'ban. But taking the other fast into consideration as a trial for Ramadan, and preparation for Ramadan, if possible, we may be able to fast these 4 days that are coming, or at least maybe 3 of those 4 that are coming. So, for example, tomorrow Monday is the day that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam fasted. In one narration is mentioned that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the amal and the actions of the creation are raised on Mondays and Thursdays. So he hoped to be in a state of fasting on these days. So that is Monday fast gone. That if possible, that is tomorrow. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will be the Ayyam Bid for this month, because on Tuesday is the 13th of Sha'ban, Wednesday is the 14th of Sha'ban, and 15th is and Thursday is the 15th of Sha'ban. So in that way, if you fast tomorrow, if you want, that'll be fasting, because Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam fasting on Mondays, so we get one fast there. And then if we want, then we can fast the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which will be the 13th, 14th, and 15th of the Islamic month. And one of the rewards of this is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned that in a narration that by fasting, inshallah, you get the reward of fasting the whole year if you keep fasting these 3 fasts on a monthly basis. And the reason behind that is that one fast is equivalent to 10. We learned that for one good deed that you do, you get the reward of 10. So inshallah, by fasting 3 days per month, you'll get the reward as if you fasted 30. So in one narration, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said as well that if he told one of the Sahaba that if you want to fast, if you want to observe the sunnah of 3 days of the month, then fast on the 13th, 14th, and the 15th of the lunar month. So if you want to observe that sunnah, you fast on these 3 days. So let us also, if we can, and as I said, many of us are home now. Alhamdulillah, we can also increase in our tilawat, etc. So if you can and you want to, these are good fasts that we can fast as well, and will also help us prepare for Ramadan. Is also ways of increasing ibadah, because by increasing ibadah, we bring the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We encourage the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to come towards us. And inshallah, we will be able to turn to Allah even more and get Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy and His kindness and His love even more upon us. And then in this manner, we'll hope that the difficulties that we find ourselves in will come to an end. So these are just a few points that I had to share with you. Inshallah tomorrow, I know today we had some hiccups with the YouTube feed. We'll try our best. I have to thank Ibrahim Nana. May Allah reward him greatly. He's been doing everything behind the scenes. Is right now, I think, is what time? It's now 2:00 a.m. in the morning in Birmingham in England. And mashallah, he's up, and behind the scenes, he is ensuring that this streaming is coming over both YouTube and Facebook. So let's pray. Remember him in your du'as as well. Everyone, please pray for him. May Allah accept all of his efforts. I know there were challenges today. We hope, inshallah, tomorrow we can get those challenges sorted out. But I've been told that the Facebook feed has been very good. So inshallah, tomorrow, I hope that one of my colleagues, Mufti Abrar from Trinidad, will join us. Mufti Abrar from Trinidad, my good friend and colleague, inshallah, he'll be joining us tomorrow once everything works out. Inshallah, we'll speak a bit on a subject that I think we need to bear in mind: positivity. Because in these times, there's a lot of negativity. We can easily become depressed. We can easily forget about the mercies of Allah. So inshallah, tomorrow, Mufti Sahab, we'll have a short talk, 10-15 minutes probably, and we'll have a similar arrangement as we had today. So please join in tomorrow. Mufti Sahab will be joining us live from Trinidad and Tobago, inshallah, tomorrow. He's the one of the imams at Nur Islam, and he also runs Dar al-Ihsan, so Al-Ihsan Academy, sorry. And he's very active there. So I'm sure that his words will be of great benefit to all of us. And before I conclude, I have a few requests for du'as. Firstly, one of my wife's uncle in Batley passed away a few days ago. Last week, actually, he passed away. Our mama from Batley passed away last week. So please remember him in your du'as. Do as much du'a, maghfirat, and isar sawab as possible for him. Similarly, a friend of mine from Dubai, Afzal Amin, Hafiz Afzal Amin, he's a good friend of mine. His father passed away yesterday. Please pray for him as well. Allah forgive both of them and all those who have departed from this world. May Allah forgive them for any shortcomings and grant them the highest stages of Jannah. Also, Muhammad Chacha Banawi, continue to make dua for him. He's at home at the moment. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the operation. He's at home. Pray, make dua for him and his wife. Allah grants them good health. Allah grants them afiyah. Allah grants them peace and ease. And also another one of my colleagues, his mother actually in Birmingham, Mufti Muhammad Battai, his mother has the COVID-19 virus. Please pray for her as well, and all those who are sick. So whoever throughout the world, as I told some friends today, that now it's hitting home. Now we're hearing, before the COVID-19 was South Korea and China and then other parts of the world. Now we're hearing that it is affecting friends and family. So let us be on our guard. Let us do what we have to do. As the government is telling us, stay home. Inshallah, that will be a means of protection for all of us. That's the way that we have to do. That is our tying the camels. So we tie the camels, stay home, stay off the streets as much as we can, stay off, and only go out if there's a necessity. Abide by the laws. Inshallah, all of this will blow over, and we'll be better for it, and we'll come out of this without any losses. Inshallah, we pray for the ummah, pray for each other, and look after each other as well. So please join us tomorrow again, inshallah. Jazakallah for joining us today. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma bihamdik, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Salamun alal mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.